people realize that it's wrong, and that way parents can teach their kids not to do it.
That is a 13-year-old girl describing her reaction today after being attacked by bullies at school in May. That attack left her with a bloody face and broken tooth.
Well, her family is now suing the Gardner School District where she attends classes, claiming that the district failed to protect their child, did not follow up properly after the attack, and violated the Americans with Disabilities Act. And
joining us is attorney Andrew Miltenberg, who represents Charlie and her family. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Very disturbing story. This attack happened on May 13th in the small community of Gardner, just about 70 miles south of Chicago. But we're told the sheriff's office did investigate. What happened after that resulted in the family bringing this lawsuit forward with you?
Well, quite frankly, nothing particularly helpful. The young lady was suspended for several days and then had finished the year virtually and is now in a different school. But the real issue is that this bullying of Charlie had gone on for months prior to that. And this was an individual, the bully, that had intimidated and tormented other children. And the school knew this, and they knew that this was an ongoing problem and quite frankly, did nothing. What you see in that photo was completely unavoidable.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So I'm looking at, and it's pretty detailed, I'm looking at the statute here in Illinois with regard to the school's responsibility. I'm not seeing a lot with regard to your case in particular where there might be a glaring failure on the part of the school. Is there one underlying issue that you would like to point to where the school failed this young lady?
Well, they failed to investigate this as it was developing over many months. They failed to heed the child's concern, Charlie's mother's concerns, and this was an assault that didn't have to happen had the school properly investigated and properly protected Charlie, or at least done some type of early intervention to ensure that this didn't happen.
So,
bullying is an epidemic, and although schools talk about it quite a bit at the beginning of the school year, that fades, and there needs to be an ongoing conversation about this.
Okay, I understand that you're actually an out-of-state attorney from New York. This story did make some national headlines. What made you decide to get involved and represent the family?
That's a great question, and bullying has always been a particular interest of mine, and stopping bullying and stopping the victimization of young children. We know that the damages stay with you, the trauma stays long after the scars heal. And I think most people have had some incident of bullying throughout their lives, and it remains very stark in their memory. And I think that there has to be more done by parents and by administrators and faculty to make sure what you're seeing in that photo does not happen again. And I would venture that there are quite a few students every day that get bullied that don't have the wherewithal or don't have the courage to come forward, and they suffer in silence.
Hey, we're almost out of time. Real quick, we'd be remiss if we didn't ask how Charlie's doing this morning.
Charlie is doing okay. She still wakes up every day afraid to go to school, and she still wakes up wondering if today she's going to get bullied or beaten up or made fun of. And that's something that she's going to have to work through. But she's happy that she's standing up for herself.
Well, what does the family want in the long run? What do they want to walk away with?
I think they want to walk away with the school changing its policies, becoming more vigilant about this issue, and also continuing the discussion on a national level about bullying and the impact it has and what early intervention can do and what parents should be talking to their children about at home.
Well, we appreciate you joining us and sharing their story with us. And I know we'll be following this and hope to hear more from you as this story progresses. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.